You are looking live at a weekly chart of the Nasdaq, which has not been able to take out its old high like the Dow Jones and the S&P have. The financial media uh, has been making a big deal out of the S&P at 5,000. That's fine, but the Nasdaq, is near that 16,212. It closed at 15,793, and that's about 2.5% move, which is not that far, especially when you look at these big blue volume bars and the run that we've had here recently. I think the Nasdaq is well within striking distance of taking out that old high of 16,212. We take a look at the daily chart. You can see the Nasdaq was up 37 points today, or 0.24%. Once again, a little stronger volume today. And if I go back to that weekly chart, you can see that big blue volume bars has only been 1 week in the last like 14 where this thing has been down. So nice strong rally. It closed at, like I said, 15,793. It needs to take out 16,212, which is about 2.5% away. Anyway, that's enough for me, the indexes for me. I trade stocks. I'm just going to get right to the stocks today. There is a lot going on. Apple has their Vision Pro, and I guess it's being well received. It's forming a double bottom base here. It hasn't really moved anywhere, kind of gone sideways, since whenever this is, last summer, last July or whatever. So just a sideways stock. Pretty hard to hold, it's opportunity cost when you're holding this, and a lot of other stocks are ramping 20, 30, 50%. So Apple hasn't really, they've got a rap for not being involved in artificial intelligence, but they've purchased at least 10 artificial intelligence companies in the last 5 years. So Tim Cook and Apple, they're not stupid. They're going to roll out some AI stuff later on, I'm sure, but they are behind Microsoft, which has been ramping nicely. Created, I think it was another new high today. I'm not quite sure. There was a lot of stocks making new highs today. But anyway, with the AI theme, I just have to say, 415.32 is the old high and it was 56. So yeah, it's a new high. With AI, it's more of a business to business. It's more stealth. You don't see it. I mean, with Microsoft, you do with Chat GPT or whatever, but when 1990s, when the internet was rolling out with AOL, I mean, it was business to consumer. So everybody was, getting their electronic mail, and you got mail, and they would dial up, and you could send messages, across the country, across the globe to friends, around the world, and have an electronic email, so that was pretty exciting. We could see that. We could see the Cisco, the plumbing being built out, the fiber optics, and the networking companies building out that internet. And this AI is a little more stealth. So you just have to kind of read the charts. Like, I don't know the software companies that are doing great. I know a ton of people who work in Silicon Valley at these software companies. I can't tell you what they do. But it doesn't matter. We go to the charts and we see Microsoft ramping. So we know, they're buying this stock for artificial intelligence purposes. Same with Meta Platforms. They've talked about how much they're going to spend on AI, and it ramped higher and just holding its gains. It looks like it's going to form a shelf-like pattern. Same with Amazon, very similar there. That is forming a shelf. Very nice. That looks great. Google, another big AI. I think they changed the name of Bard to some other name, Gemini or something. They've got nothing better to do to change their names there in Silicon Valley. But anyway, definitely going to be a big player in AI. And like I say, it's a little more stealth in Silicon Valley than it is, when we had the build out of the internet, and everybody's getting their doing all their business online and shopping. Those were exciting times, but this is more business to business, so we don't see it as much. It's a little more stealth like. NVIDIA, we do know, is the king of AI, or it's been dubbed the king of AI. Besides Palantir is the Messi of AI, of course, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. But definitely something going on here, right? From 450 to 700. Had a little struggle with the 700 level. I'm sure it'll dance around that level before taking it out eventually. In this market, I would imagine it would, but just riding its 10, that's just surfing its 10 EMA. Every time it pulls back to the 10, it's a buy, but getting a little extended from that 4.3% above the 10. So anyway, I'm going to move on. Go through some different names today. There's so many stocks breaking out, so many stocks making new highs, so many stocks on my ready list that, are just not actionable anymore. They're all extended. So it's hard to find a ready list. I'm gonna have to do some more work and get busy for next week because they've all pretty much taken off. I'm gonna get into that in a minute though, but I do want to check in with some of these semiconductor fabless stock. This is Monolithic Power. Definite breakout from a base here. If you got to go to the weekly here to look at this, this has been consolidating for a long, long, long time. I mean, it was $580 in November of 21. Finally, I mean, it was down to 561 just last week. So hadn't gone anywhere more than 2 years, and now breaks out today. It was up 15% this week, 16% this week. Today it had a nice move of 14% with volume. So that is a move not to be ignored. And speaking of moves not to be ignored, this is ARM holding. I thought it would have trouble with 100, but nope, it went through 100 like a hot knife through butter, up 47%. Closed at 80% of its daily range. So, got up to 126, closed at 113. Nice move for ARM. And you can see this is it's an IPO, but this company's been around for a long time. Classic cup with handle, then moved higher, and then just kind of traded sideways, waiting for that new data point. And congrats to the longs. In ARM, MRVL is one that's on our ready list. I still think this is actionable. You got to look at the weekly charts here whenever you're, thinking about, putting your money at risk. And this is starting to move out of consolidation here. Still actionable, I believe. It's been consolidating for a long time, so I expect when the move does come, maybe a 20% move from that 70 level, so get back to that, 85 area. That would be, what I expect. I'm not predicting anything. That would be my expectation, a measured move on a breakout, but it hasn't broken out yet though. It's just trying to push away here. A couple other ones I'm just going to go through. These are not semiconductors, just a networking stock. Arista Networks, a new high today, surfing the moving averages beautifully. My goodness, that is just a thing of beauty right there. Since the October lows, just ramping higher from 160 to 270. Thank you very much. We'll take that. SMCI, of course, everybody's talking about SMCI now, and 698 today. It's getting gosh, I think I wanted to change this moving average to like a 5. If I go to the 5, I have it on 8. If I go to the 5 on this one, because it's one of the faster movers, yeah, it's just surfing that 5. So let it come back to the 5, which is 658. It's going up like $20 a day. So it won't take long to get to 700 sometime next week. So anyway, SMCI is just a monster stock. You can see the breakout there. What I'm looking for, I mean, technically speaking, I should go back here. We could talk about this for a little bit because there's the spirit of the law and the letter of the law, and really, if you want to go, a high tide flag, first of all, there's no flag. This is just a poll. And it really should be from the breakout point, which was 357, which would mean 714 it would have to close. I mean, this one qualifies for the 8-week hold rule anyway. But if you wanted to be, the scientific nerd guy, it would be, 357. You can see that was the breakout, paint by numbers. And so 714 would be 100% move. Then you'd expect it to flag from that 714 area. So maybe it'll come up here tomorrow or next week and then flag something like that for a couple weeks before, you could expect another move towards 1,000. And I totally expect that. I'm not predicting it, but I expect it. Okay, so where are we at now? One more. I'm talking too much here. I'm getting confused. All right, here's Vertiv, just another one surfing its moving averages. They report on the 21st, which is 2 weeks from yesterday. Yeah. And this one's just a thing of beauty. You got to listen to their investor day back in December, November. Yeah, it's very enlightening. It's like 5 hours long. Those guys are long-winded, but it's very thorough and detailed. And I think this is going to be, you got to look at the weekly chart. You can see the breakout here of a stage 1 base and just moving higher. It gave you this one little flat base and pullback, and then it's just ramping higher. Just a beautiful thing. There's your pullback there to the 50, and after the breakout, the pullback, and that's your chance. Not giving you much entry. All right, I'm going to go to the drugs because I like the drugs. And Eli Lilly tried to make a new high today at what was it, 742, came very close and just pulled back. Very, very tight day today. It got up to 741. But yesterday's high was 740.99, and then 742 was the high on Tuesday before it pulled back after earnings, which is really kind of such a weird reaction to, stellar earnings. It ramped up to 742 and closed at 705. So some of these earnings moves are just a little quirky. So you just got to hang with them. You got to have conviction. You got to know your stocks, and you got to let them wiggle around a little bit. You got to move your stops out of the way because they're going to take your stops out. Viking, they reported earnings, and I use air quotes with earnings because they really don't have earnings, but they did say that they have like $362 million in cash. But the thing that got this thing moving 18% today was the CEO said that they're in discussions. Now, he didn't say discussions to partner with someone with their new drug, or maybe a partner or a takeover, a buyout, flat out buyout. He didn't really get into that, but just the rumors of it, not even rumors. He just flat out said they're having discussions. Got the stock moving, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. I believe this is definitely a buyout target for that weight loss area. But since it's a speculative stock, I'm just going to talk about it about once a week now. How about that? Because I've been talking about it every day. Now that earnings are behind us, I'm going to let it go. EYPT, iPoint, made a new high today, then pulled back, closed lower. You can see this one's just surfing its 10 moving average as well. ABBV, medical drugs, just broke out, just ramping higher, pulled back to the 21 one time. That's your chance. You got to be quick if you want to own that stock. Okay, retail, just going with Costco because it made a new high. Not making any observations here, just surfing its moving averages like a lot of stocks are right now. Murphy USA, this is a retail mini mark, but they have a oil and gas component, but this thing ramped nearly 10% today. With volume, and closed 96% of its daily range. So a nice hammer candle with volume. So that one looks good too. TPR, this is the Kate Spade former coach. Nice move here with some decent volume. So that one looks good as well. And then Ralph Lauren, our man Ralph Lauren, man, nice jump. 17% move with nearly 500% above average daily volume. That one will not be ignored. Very nice breakout from a base there. You can see, yeah, we like them breaking out from bases and not just moving higher because they get a little extended that way. Okay, I'm going to go to the cybersecurity stocks. CYBR, they reported and they ramped pretty nicely. The whole cohort was strong today. This one closed near the middle of its daily range. That's not really what you want to see on an earnings breakup, but still, we'll take 7.5% all day long. CrowdStrike, the leader of the group, another high today. It made a high yesterday, bouncing off the moving average after forming this little shelf type pattern right there around 300. Just, it just tells you that the institutions are not willing to sell this stock. And then eventually they come in and buy it and drive it higher. Palo Alto Networks, same thing. A few of you here told me that you bought this. I had it on the ready list and you guys bought it. So congrats. This is a very strong stock. Same concept as CrowdStrike, the shelf pattern and bumping off a moving average. So you don't want to see it get too extended from that 10 EMA. And actually, I didn't move it back. What a moron. I got to move it back to the 10. Because I think that was my position, right? Buy it off the 10. Yeah, there's the bounce off the 10. So that was a nice bounce on Wednesday of nearly 7%. So a $23 move for Palo Alto up after hours. I have something for that, for a reason for that. I'm going to get to, trust me. Zscaler, another new high. 246.38 could be an actionable area. It's just kind of a flat pattern like Crowd and like Palo Alto Networks. You can see it just kind of made that high, then pulled back to the 21. And so that could be construed, I believe, as an area to get, an opportunity there. So it traded above it today, but 246.38 is the number. Oscar, the insurance companies, I've been highlighting them the last couple of days, and you cannot deny a 24% move for Oscar. They have a new CEO, and he's doing a great job, apparently. Personnel makes the difference. All you have to do is look at, NVIDIA, and Jensen Huang and AMD and Lisa Su and what they've done for their companies. And the great Steve Jobs at Apple when he returned. I mean, people do matter. Leadership matters. And they have a new CEO. This earnings report, they blasted higher 24%. So congrats to the longs there. I mentioned yesterday or the day before, Willis Towers. Yeah, broke out of a base here and just, holding its gains. That's what you want to see, especially from an insurance stock. Those are big, big moves. And then Allstate, you're in good hands. I believe this is an earnings break, 2%. Nice move. It's a big company. It's kind of a slow moving stock, but you could see the volume there. Close near the low of its day, which you don't want to see. But like I said, you got to take a look at the weekly chart, and you can see the breakout from this big base here. So this Allstate's getting a little extended. All right. HVAC, I haven't gone over these in a while. AAON, breakout from a base. I'm sorry I did not have this on my ready list because it should have been. AAON should have been on, but God, I missed it. Sorry. Sometimes that happens. Fix just ramping higher. Yeah, hopefully it'll pull back to a moving average, eventually one of these days. And then Modine, this one's just been a beast. This one's really surfing its moving averages to higher prices. AZEK, it's not a, it's a biller stock, definitely not a air conditioning stock, but you can see the breakout yesterday and holding its gains. I just wanted to show you it's making new highs, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. Okay, I'm going to get to Palantir, and since Palantir reported, the entire software cohort has moved higher, and it's basically the AI theme, and that's why I say we really can't see AI. We can trust, the CEOs of their word. I guess they're saying there's bombastic, demand, and so the AI stocks are trading higher. The software AI stocks, Palantir up 3 days in a row. That's a nice breakout and a follow through. You got to look at the weekly charts here. And it had this base on base pattern, and it's up 44% this week. Thank you very much. We will take that. It's probably getting a little stretched here, and on Friday, I wouldn't be surprised to see some profit taken, have it pull back a little bit, but nice week for the Palantir longs. ESTC, I've had this one on my ready list, but it's pushing away. This has got a boost from the Palantir report as well. There's another AI stock, and 118.24 is the paint by numbers. Buy points getting a little extended there at 126, and it's up after hours too. And I have a good idea why. Datadog, they report next week, I believe, the 13th. Yeah. And so this one broke out of I gotta go to the weekly on these. Broke out of that stage one base. I've been talking about this. I've been following this one for a long time. And you can see that cup with handle, the pull back, nice shakeout. That's a vicious classic shakeout. Ran up from 80 to 120, which is that buy point area there, 118, 120. And then it's moved higher as well. Pulled back a couple of times to its moving average, but Datadog looks good. Like I say, they report on February 13th, which is next Tuesday. Monday, can't trust that day, but you can trust the stock. My goodness, look at this one, 227 now. Whew. Remember this, we had it on the ready list at 189. So that one's ramping higher. Congrats to the longs there. And also Snowflake. Yeah, this one's getting extended. This is a classic textbook, cup shape pattern, shake out down to the moving average and then ramp higher the next 4 or 5 weeks. My goodness, what a thing of beauty that is. Yeah, after the breakout, it pulled back to the 51 time, which is your gift, from 202 back to what, 182? Yeah, nice $20 shakeout, then ramp higher $40. Thank you very much. They're going to steal your lunch money if you put those stops in too tight. CFLT, another one. Computer software database stock that's in the Microsoft cohort, the industry group, which is pretty strong, top 20 group. Ramped 34% today. Thank you very much. We'll take that. Boy, it's hard for me to buy stuff below the 200, but it worked out for those who did. So, congrats to the longs there. That's a heck of a move for Confluent. Gosh, I got so many of these. MDB, Mungo, gosh, broke out of a base. Man, I missed that one too. Should have had that one. I think we had it on our red list a while back, and then like a couple weeks ago, and then I didn't put it on this week. Anyway, this one we did. App loving, and it's loving it. Today made a new high, then pulled back. That one I might put on the ready list again. That one might be actionable here. Close at the lows of the day, the inverted hammer. This is a kind of a wild, you can see how it moves, way up, way down, way up. That'll give me seasick. I need Dramamine for it. But if you like, stocks that trade higher, this one has been moving higher since that 37.40 level. And the last one of these software names is Frog. We had this on our ready list, and this one broke out. Just closed near the 39% of its daily range. So you want to see them closing higher for momentum into the next day. But we're going to keep our eye on Frog. I think it's a little extended. Yeah, 8% above its 10. So yeah, a little extended. Anyway, I'm not going to say that's it for me. I'm just going to go through some names here, and I'm just going to kind of, there's a lot of, I don't know. I'm just going to say the rally is broad. It's not just the sevens MAGA stocks, whatever, MAG 7 stocks, whatever the heck. There's a lot of stocks breaking out, making new highs. I'm just going to go through a few of them. I have like 3 pages of them. But Uber, I'm just going through different groups too, different industry groups. Not VV. What am I doing here? XPO. XPO is a transportation logistics, making new highs, breaking out of bases. Waste management, they're hosting the golf tournament in Scottsdale this week. Made a new high at 190 today. WSM, I mean, it's a drainage company, right? No, not WMS, WSM. WMS, excuse me, I'm dyslexic. WSM looks good too, though. But this one broke out of a base today, 14% move. I mean, this is a slow moving stock. Building construction, speaking of which, BLDR, that's a nice breakout. Making new highs. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing here? This is not the MAG 7, folks. There's a lot of stocks, a lot of different industries. I showed you insurance, building, heat, air conditioning. It's not just software and hardware and technology. Wynn Resorts had a nice move on their earnings report. Autodesk, which is a software design company, new high. Akamai, new highs. Yep, new highs. So this all looks good. CLS breaking out to new highs. That's one of those contracting manufacturers, and there was Sanmina and Fabrinet. Dick's Sporting Goods. Okay, a retail name making a new high today. So it's just broad. I'm not going to go through all of them. Like I said, I have 3 pages of them. Anyway, don't fall for that stupid narrative. The rally looks great. Leading stocks are leading. Leading stocks are making new highs. If you own the leaders, you're doing great. You should be making plenty of money in this market. And that's it for me today. Thank you for watching, except for I have one more thing. And that is after hours, I have some casualties. A firm down 13% after their earnings report. Pinterest does this often. It's down, oh wow, it was down like 20%, now down 7%. So maybe they said something on the conference call. But anyway, the big money's going to Facebook and Google. And you saw the earnings report from Snapchat, so the writing was kind of on the wall for pins, but they had a revenue miss. Anyway, I wanted to get to Cloudflare because Cloudflare is up nearly 15% after hours. And that's gonna, I believe, help some of those. It's not, a big stock, it's 30 billion market cap. So it's not small, but I believe that could help with the Datadog. Maybe even, the Zscaler and the security cohort there. So we're gonna have to wait and see tomorrow. But Net had a strong report. They beat on all metrics. Yeah, CrowdStrike's up after hours, and did I show Datadog? I think I did. Yeah, up after hours. ESTC, Cloudflare beating and raising definitely has a ripple effect throughout the software. So I believe, Palantir carried the ball earlier in the week with their report, and maybe a Cloudflare tomorrow. Definitely for Cloudflare, it's trading over 100, and Palantir, just massive move. So it looks good for the software. It looks good for this is a 53 billion market cap. So Cloudflare is not too far behind. Anyway, that's it for me finally. We're doing great. A lot of our stocks are breaking out. I'm going to have a new list over the weekend. I'm going to create one. So you're probably going to see a lot of the same names that haven't broken out. There's not many. Maybe something like a Netflix, which I believe is just biding its time. It's got this short stroke pattern here. Just whisper volume here. This one's gonna make a move on some news or some upgrade or something. There's a lot going on with the streaming, and you could see the group here is top 21. So strong stock, the strongest stock in a pretty strong group. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. Thank you for watching.